I turned 4, I asked my parents for a bike, and I got a little sister. Then, when I was 5 and a half, I asked for a puppy, but I got 2 twin brothers. And this year, I'm going to ask for another little sister, and maybe I'll get that bike.
First National Bank, believing in the community, preparing for the future.
Hello and welcome to Press Pass for the week of December the 12th. I'm George Anderson, and joining me today is Ken Williams, the godfather of the Christmas in Kennett program that we see every year. How you doing, Ken?
I'm good. I don't think I've been called that before, but I'll take that as a compliment.
Well, you do the producing of it, all the video, all the editing.
Yeah, it didn't start out that way. It started out with kind of a project with the Cablevision company, and then at one point they weren't going to do it, and I said, well, if you're not, I'll take it over, and it was fine with them. And we've run it on the cable access channel up until last year, and now, well, last year and this year we're running on YHC-TV, which is channel 21 on all the new wave cable companies. So they can get it not only here in Kennett, but in Dexter, Malden, I think Campbell, Sykeston, and I may be leaving out some of the new wave companies, but anywhere that they can get channel 21 on new wave cable, it's YHC-TV. Tyler Wagner does a fabulous job with that, and he's gracious enough to let us broadcast it live. Well, it's not live. It runs 3 times. Runs on Christmas Eve at 8 p.m., Christmas morning again at 8 a.m., and then Christmas evening or Christmas night at 8 p.m. again. And last year they ran it a few extra times throughout that Christmas week, but it is scheduled for those 3 times, and it's been a labor of love for me. I mean, it's a lot of work at Christmas time, but a lot of people say, how do you find time? Well, you just work it in,
right?
There's been years that I've gone home and hadn't had enough sleep and wondered, why am I doing this?
Right.
But the rewards, just people enjoying it, and I get a lot of people who come up to me throughout the year even and say, thanks for doing that, and that's a big reward for knowing that people enjoy it.
Right. Yeah, I've seen you out scrambling all hours.
Yeah.
To get those last minute videos in.
Well, I saw you on a rainy Sunday afternoon a couple weeks ago. So Santa was visiting your
Santa came to the Pet Picks with Santa at the Jade Shop. So you say it started off as a joint project with the Cablevision.
Yeah, they came to me the first year that we did it. Well, this is the 19th year. So the first year we did it, they were just starting to do the cable insert ads on the local access channel, and they came to me with the idea of doing at that time the Chamber of Commerce was doing the Christmas lighting awards, and they had this idea of just videoing the lighting awards, and then they were going to sell some sponsorships, and I was doing some of their cable insert ads at the time, so he came to me with that proposition, and I didn't poo-poo the idea, but I just thought if you're going to do something like that in order to attract an audience, because the lighting awards are fine, but it's a limited thing, and I thought in order to attract an audience, if we do things that involved as many people as possible, and especially the kids, and we went to old folks' home, we went to just all the different events happening, and I still do I don't call it a man on the street, but I call it greets, which are Christmas greetings.
Right.
And we try and get those all over town, different places we go in, the courthouse and wherever people are gathered together. I try and always get the sheriff and chief of police and the mayor, and then I'll go out on the street, usually on the square, and try and get greetings from just whoever happens to pop by, and I'll stand in front of the post office for a while, because there's a lot of traffic there, people going in mailing their Christmas cards out, and it just involves a lot of people, and like I say, we try to get a lot of things that the kids in town are doing. Last night we shot video of the South School music, the Christmas musical play.
Shaping Up Santa.
Yeah, and then went from there over to middle school and got some footage of the band concert. I think it was the 6th, 7th, and the 8th grades. And just I started out, when I started doing it, I filmed the whole thing, and then I'd get in, when I got ready to edit it, I had all this footage and hundreds of hours of stuff, and man, so I try to limit myself when I'm shooting to not shoot the whole thing,
right?
Because then I've got to go back to it and look for the best part. So I try and kind of edit in camera is what they're calling it.
What's the biggest change that's happened since you began the project 19 years ago?
Well, one thing that changed, and I have mixed emotions about it. I like the lighting awards, but the chamber decided to stop it. It was you only made a couple people happy, and anytime you've got a contest, you got a lot more losers than you got winners. So, but I enjoyed it, and a lot of people went all out then. Not that some people don't now. They still, we've still got a lot of people that put up a lot of Christmas decorations. But that's one change. I don't know if that's the biggest change. I always try to keep the program on a positive note.
Right.
There's been a little change in some things that I wouldn't call positive, but I'd rather dwell on the positive than on the negative. So it's one of the real positives, and I wouldn't say this is a change, but like I touched on earlier with people coming to me and telling me how they enjoyed the program, but this is 19 years, so for some people, they've watched their kids grow up.
Right.
As a matter of fact, we did a little segment year before last where I went to the kindergarten and did some interviews talking with kids, and there was these two girls who were in kindergarten, and then 2 years ago they graduated from high school together, still in the same class, and were still great friends, And so I thought, well, that'd be neat to show a clip from, I don't remember how many years ago that was, but it was probably 15 or 14 years ago, and then show a clip of them together and ask them some of the same questions, without letting them know, what I was going to ask.
I was just thinking that doing this for 19 years, you kind of get to watch these kids grow up.
Oh yeah,
because you see a lot of the same faces.
And where I started with that was I get a lot of people comment about how it's become a tradition for their, running it at the same time. I've done that since its inception. The 8 o'clock on Christmas Eve, 8 o'clock Christmas morning, and 8 o'clock Christmas night. I thought that would be a good concept as far as, because a lot of people have things. Well, Presbyterian Church has a musical on Christmas Eve, so naturally they're not at home at that time. But a lot of people watch it on Christmas Eve with their family. A lot of people watch on Christmas morning after they open their gifts. And I get this from people who call me or stop me on the street and let me know that they enjoy it, and like they've told me that it's become a kind of a family tradition,
Right.
And I don't know how much longer I can continue it. It sometimes is getting a little too much for an old man, but it really brightens my holiday season. Where sometimes if I wasn't doing Christmas in Kennett, I'd probably be getting grumpy about like things that agitate everybody, losing sleep, too much to do, stress, and but even though it is a lot of work, it also brightens my holiday season by I get to share so many different things with so many different people at Christmas time, and it makes practically from Thanksgiving to Christmas a holiday, a Christmas holiday for me.
Right. Now, every year there's usually a song involved in there too.
Back that kind of started. Well, actually, it started on the very first Christmas in Kennett. Had a group of friends, and being a musician, I've got a lot of musician friends. Well, we're having a Christmas party over at my house, and we kind of just kind of came up. I had a piano there, and Daryl Wilcoxon was there, and he sat down behind the piano, and I was videoing for a segment of Christmas in Kennett, and I don't know how it came up, but we said, well, let's just do a song, Christmas in Kennett, and just kind of impromptu, we started singing along, and actually used that as the opening for the show.
Right.
And I haven't used that particular song in several years, but after that, then I started writing some songs for different segments. For instance, I think it was the 4th or 5th season, I got a group of kids together, and I had written a song called Christmas is Coming, oh boy, oh boy. And this may not be that interesting to people, but the song originally, I was doing a commercial for my store, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I thought, I've got to get this done. And I didn't even grab an instrument. I just kind of banged on the table. Christmas is coming, oh boy, Christmas is coming, oh boy. And I did like a 30-second commercial, and I sang a little bit of that, and then I put in voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had more response from that ad, and I ran that ad on the radio, and I think on some TV spots. And like I went into choir one night during December, and I walked in, and 2 or 3 of them turned around and said, "Christmas is coming, oh boy, Christmas is coming, oh boy." And I thought, well, if that's that catchy,
right,
you know, maybe I'll finish it now. And the next year I finished up a whole song, and I got a group of, I think there was 8 kids that ranged from about 6 years old through probably 13 at the time. The youngest ones have all graduated from high school now. So, you know, you can tell it's been, well, I guess it's 12 years through high school.
Right.
And this was probably in, like I say, the 5th year. But I got them together, and we recorded it, and then I set up the video camera, and we kind of gathered around, talked a little bit, and then we recorded the song. And that has become a tradition every year. I use that song toward the first of the program. On Thanksgiving weekend, I usually go out and get video of people out in their yards, because a lot of people decorate.
Right.
This year, I didn't get much at first because it was rainy,
right,
you know, and there wasn't too many people braving the weather, but we get people out decorating their yards and other things, preparing for Christmas, and we usually play that song as kind of the background for that video montage.
Okay. That pretty much covers everything with Christmas at Kennett, unless there's anything you can think of that you want to throw in.
Well, I can think of a lot of things, but I could go on all day, but I probably talk too much as it is. So.
Okay, we'll give the audience a reminder of when it is again.
Now, don't forget, be sure and tune in for Christmas in Kennett on Channel 21 YHC-TV. That's on Channel 21 on New Wave Cable, and also you can tune in on the internet. Yeah, I forgot to touch on that, and that's an important thing. Not only can it be seen here locally, but if you have relatives that want, and you've been on the show, if I've got video of your kids in the musical or wherever, and we got all kinds of visits to Santa Claus, and Santa Claus is an important part of the program, and he comes down and visits us and participates. He takes some time out of his busy schedule, right, to help me out and talk about Christmas in Kennett, and I show him how Kennett has the Christmas spirit. But anyway, if you want to tune in, or you got relatives in New York or Timbuktu, as long as they've got internet service, they can watch it live. It'll be live streaming at those 3 times: 8 o'clock on Christmas Eve, 8 o'clock Christmas morning, 8 o'clock Christmas night. And you can get it not only on or YHC TV, but you can also tune in on the internet and watch it live streaming. And there's 2 internet places you can get it. You can get first on yhctv.com, and that'll go to their homepage, and then you just scroll down, and there'll be a shot for live streaming, or a window with, you know, a little arrow on it. Just click on that, and you'll go to live streaming, and whatever they're broadcasting at the time, which if you tune in at those times, it'll be Christmas in Kennett on. And also it's available on Facebook. You can go to Facebook and then YHC TV, and click on that, and there'll be about the same type of thing. There'll be a screen for live streaming, and just click on that, and you can have anybody anywhere with internet service to watch it simultaneously.
Well, I guess that's about all the time we have for today. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. You can always reach us here at the Democrat at 203 1st Street. Phone number is 888-4505. Reach me by email at ganderson@dddnews.com. Again, I appreciate you stopping by.
Oh man, I thank you for asking me. Appreciate it, and Merry Christmas.
You
to you.
too.